Toy Power Podcast is a free podcast made possible by the support of our awesome Patreon sponsors. Head to toypowerpodcast.com and see how you can help.
Oh yeah, this is power.
Hello and welcome to Toy Power, the podcast where we talk toys and everything pop culture. G'day, it's Trent here, and it is so wonderful to have your company today for episode 369. This week on the show, we take a look at a very special and very Australian journey. We then jump into our top 5 heroic toys from the 1970s and 80s as we get into Hero for Hire. And then, if we've got time later, scores. Joining me today in the Toy Power studio, we've got Ben.
G'day.
Frank.
Hello, hello.
We've got Scotty.
That's me. Hello.
And joining us, the wacky racer himself, Matt Teal. Welcome back to Toy Power, Matt.
Hello, gentlemen. Thanks for having me.
Oh, pleasure to have you back on, mate. It's been a little while, and you've got a wonderful cause to share with us today, and give a bit of a plug.
Yeah, so I just want to say, first of all, thank you to Scott for inviting me on there and getting behind the cause. You know, it's not something that I asked, and you guys took it off your own back, and it's, very greatly appreciated.
Beautiful. Well, so you're the headline for this is Dastardly and Muttley, for those that remember the old cartoon. Is this if you've sent us a link to the thing? There's a bit of cosplay going on here. I really hope this is part of it.
Yeah, it will be, unfortunately. So I've signed up to do what's called a shitbox rally, which is where you have to spend less than $1,500, and that includes your servicing and all that sort of stuff for your car. So you can't spend $1,500 and then go get it professionally.
Get it done up. Yeah. Pin my ride.
Yep. And we drive from point A to point B, not the most conventional route. So, for instance, they do three rallies a year, and I'm in the autumn 2025, where we go from Canberra all the way up to Townsville. Now, if you're normally doing that, you drive straight up the East Coast, all the way up the M1, and, nice, easy journey.
Yeah.
This one, we go from Canberra, inland to Hay, up to Silverton, then over to SA, up to Murray, up to Birdsville. But excuse me if I get these pronunciations wrong.
No, you're doing well, man. Yep.
And then up to Hewden. And then we finish in Townsville, some 4,000 kilometers later.
Yikes.
So it's all a lot of unsealed roads, and all through the bush, basically, all the outback. And I personally wanted to do it for I'm getting older, and you don't know how much longer you have left on the planet, and I really want to see a lot of the country that I've never seen before, and it just happens to be for a really, really good cause. So it's for the Cancer Council of Australia. I'm pretty sure that all of you know somebody that has been affected in some way, shape, or form.
Massively. Unfortunately,
by
yes,
cancer.
all too close. Yeah. Yep. So well done.
Yeah, like me personally, I've had aunts and uncles pass away. My mother-in-law's had breast cancer twice. So, it's definitely, hits close to home. So it's a good one. But in terms of the Dastardly and Muttley, so I was signing up, and then it asks you for a team name, and I'm like, oh crap, I don't know what to do. And I was just racking my brain, and I thought, Dastardly and Muttley, that's funny. And then so I signed it up, didn't tell my co-driver what I was doing, and then he's not into toys and stuff. He's more of a, we bonded over the love of craft beer and stuff rather than love of toys. And he's like, I love the name. And then he happened to send me a link of 2 people wearing Dastardly and Muttley costumes. So I'm like, straight onto Amazon, and I found them. And I'm going as Dastardly, he's going as Muttley, and the plan is that we're going to drive dressed as Dastardly and Muttley. We're going to paint the car up purple. We're going to put the double zero on it.
Awesome.
Going to do as much as I can physically do without getting pulled over by the police for having things hanging off the back. You know, things on the roof.
Yeah.
Does that mean, as as Dastardly, you can actually talk, but as Muttley, he's only able to sort of snicker?
To laugh. Yeah.
He actually does that laugh really well.
Perfect.
When we put the costumes on for like the picture for our fundraising profile, he was doing the laugh, so it's pretty good. So he's all on board with it, which is nice.
Now, are either you mechanically, in tune with cars?
Nope.
No.
Have you?
Look, I'm pretty good with my hands. I've always I used to be a chef for a long time, and I work in a technical industry now where you use your hands, and I'm pretty good with stuff. And if it's an older car where you've just got to swap and replace
Basic,
things,
yeah.
I can kind of get in there. But I'm definitely not a mechanic. But you don't need to be, which is the great thing. So you don't do this on your own. I think there's 200 or something other participants.
Yep.
And you get split up into buddy groups. So in every one of those groups, there will be mechanical people there in the group. So if you break down,
fantastic.
there's people there. It's actually the people that organise are actually South Australian people that do it, and they've been doing it I think now for well over 10 years, and I think they've raised like $40 something million.
Wow.
for council.
Fantastic.
So it's a pretty big cause. Like I think it spun off the whole variety.
That's right.
Yeah, the variety bash. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm just guessing here. I think that was a bit more hoity-toity, where this was a bit more grab a banger, let's go and have fun sort of thing. So
do you have
and I hate camping, so it's going to be a great one.
do you have a car in mind? Have you got the car already, or do you have an idea?
Not yet. No, I have been looking on Facebook Marketplace, most weeks, and I keep sending cars to Chris, who's the co-pilot, and he's getting really peed off with me for doing it. It's like, stop it. But because we don't do it till May, I don't really want to get one till next year, because it will just be sitting on my driveway. And the tricky thing is trying to find a car that has enough rego that I can drive it home, because I don't want to have to pay for a trailer to pick it up, because that comes out of the budget.
Yeah, right.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've ever looked on Facebook Marketplace, but there's not many cars.
Yeah.
No.
And whenever cars come in at that lower point, they're just snapped up by wreckers and stuff who are buying cars because they want to strip them for parts.
Yeah, for sure.
So
There's more money in the parts than there are for that price. Full on.
Yeah. But there's stuff out there. Like in my head, I kind of want something with a bit of character. But it's all going to come down to what's there. Like a wagon would be pretty cool, because there's plenty of space in the back.
Something
But
like
at
the
same
Ecto
time-
1 or something. Yeah.
At the same time, I would be pretty keen to do it in an absolute nugget, like a little Daihatsu Mira, or something really small. Like I'm not the smallest guy in the world, so it would be quite funny.
A little
Mr. Bean
Morris
car. If there was a
Minor
Mini,
or
I would
Mini.
be there.
Yeah.
That would be
Minis are like my all-time favorite car.
So you do the high tower thing where you just rip the front seat out, and sit in the back.
Or Mr. Bean style,
Strap
put a
the
couch
chair
on
on the
top,
top.
and I've driven a
I'd be
Mini.
that guy from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Are you laughing at me because of my size?
I've driven a Mini, and it is just an oversized go-kart. Those things are crazy. Yeah.
When
on.
I am financially able to, I will be getting a classic Mini. That's something
Yeah.
I've wanted ever since I was 17, and my dad was like, "You're not going to get one because they're going to break and you can't get parts."
Yeah.
So I never got one, and always regretted not having one.
Yeah. Yeah. Full on. Oh, good luck, mate. That
Very
sounds
good.
so exciting, and we cannot wait to, watch your journey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
go
like
through.
I'm not a massive social media poster. Like I don't do a lot, but I will certainly be taking pictures, putting them on Facebook, Instagram, and stuff to document the journey. Like we've had a really good backing in terms of sponsorship. So obviously you have to raise a certain amount of money to be able to participate, which is $5,000.
Yep.
And I set a target of 15,000 to get to, and currently we're just over 9,000, which
that's
is
all right. Well
which is
done.
pretty good.
Yep.
Like I'm very, very lucky that I work for a fantastic small company, and I work in a great industry, in the entertainment industry. And the company I work for, the two guys that own it, at the end of every year, they like to donate some money to a charity, and they were about to donate money to a particular charity. And I happened to mention that I wanted to do this to them in like one of my
In passing, yeah.
appraisals. One of my appraisals, they're like, what can we do for you? And I'm like, I'd love to do this. And they're like, we love it. Sort it out, and we'll back you. So they actually backed me the whole $5,000 to get into it, which was amazing.
That's fantastic. Wow.
And then I work with some fantastic companies and some fantastic suppliers in our industry, and a lot of them have jumped on the bandwagon and have donated like $1,000 upwards for their companies, which has allowed me to get to the $9,000 pretty quick. And there's still a few more companies who have said they will donate, but just haven't done it yet. But it doesn't go till May, so I'm not too fussed. So I'm realistic. We'll
Right
get
on
to
track.
that.
Yeah.
Well, 15 sounds definitely achievable.
We'll grab that link off you, and we'll put it in the show run notes as well. And I think we will donate as well.
Well, there'll be a Toy Pal donation
absolutely.
coming
Yeah,
your
there will
way.
be.
So,
Thank you.
yeah.
Look out for that one.
This is why I love you guys.
Fantastic.
No, it's for a great cause, and
Absolutely, mate.
we're really looking forward to the journey.
Yep.
That is
And
awesome.
most importantly, for all the Australians listening, tax deductible.
Wow.
Oh, there you
That's
go.
right.
Always a bonus.
Yep. Get that into your tax return. Very good. All right. We're going to now head into our next topic, which is vintage for hire. And we're going to, this week, look at the top 5 heroic toys from the 70s and 80s. And we've got a pretty strict cutoff in terms of that. 1989 cuts us out. Frank, I know that causes some issues with the Ninja Turtles line.
Yep.
I'm going with the 88, 89 releases are okay.
Yes,
Down
yes,
to
yes,
US.
yes,
That's
yes.
all
Yep,
good.
That's fine.
So we're going to go around the room. We're going to be pretty zippy here, starting with Ben. Matt, you're coming after Frank. So Ben,
Yep.
Frank, Matt, over to Scott, and then back to myself.
All right. Yep. Quick recap
right.
on the rules for those
Yes,
who...
do a recap.
Yeah. So basically, we each got to pick 5 toys. They've got to be heroes. They've got to be from 70s and or 80s. And just call them out and just go, yep, this is my favorite because of X, Y, Z. You can't pick multiples from the same franchises, so you can't pick 5 Transformers for argument's sake. Matt, looking at you. You also, if there is a double up, so if anyone calls out the exact same figure, we've got to have backup choices so we can each get 5 unique picks.
There we go.
We've only done this once before and we haven't had a clash, but extra person in the room, I've got a feeling there's going to be one tonight.
That's
Let's
right.
see.
No.
I made it harder for myself as well. I'm only picking toys that I physically own in
Yes.
my toy.
Yeah, good call.
That's even
Good call.
harder.
That's
Yeah.
my little rule as well.
I've done
Yep.
the same.
Yep.
My internal criteria.
Yep,
Yeah,
fantastic.
but you own everything.
It doesn't make it hard, does it?
Nice one. All right. I'm really glad I got called out first because this to me is a big one that might be pretty obvious, but I needed to call it out. 1984, Panoche Place, Lion Force Voltron. He did come in a gift pack.
Yeah.
So
okay.
calling that one out, that is just amazing. As much as I love my vehicle Voltron, that one was more obtainable, more frequent on telly. That was the figures, the characters, the pilots could actually fit into the Lions.
Yep.
That was the one I saw someone open right in front of me at a birthday party, and instant jealousy. Just that one I can remember in my childhood, even though I never actually owned it until as an adult. That to me is the pinnacle of tell me what Voltron and things out of a lineup. That 9 times out of 10 people would be like, that's the Panoche Place one.
That's the one.
So
That's the Voltron, isn't it?
yes, yep.
All right. I'm going to go with one which might cause some angst with our guest here tonight, but I'm going to go, I think it's 1986. Centurions. I did own a bunch of Centurions for a long time before. Yeah, Matt's giving me the stink eye already. I'm going to go with Max Ray. Do we have... Oh, not a clash. All right, good.
Now, which one's Max
So
Ray?
Max Ray is the C-based one, so he's
Right,
all in the green.
Yep.
He's got that, if you don't know what he looks like, he's got the Tom Selleck vibe
Yep,
going. He's
he
got the
certainly
dirty
does.
mo. He's even got, I'm pretty sure the toy's got a little bit of a grin, just sort of a little sly little grin to him. He's got the jet black hair. But his suits, all the suits that he wears are the armaments he wears, orange, yellow, and that blue color. So with the green sort of like central part, the color schemes work really well. I find like Jake Rockwell's get a little bit sort of samey with the greens and the yellows, but he's also got some of the coolest names: Depth Charge, Seabat, and Tidal Blast. Like for those, his armament sets. I love it. I did own this one a long time ago. I don't know if Trent bought them off me.
I know, I didn't get yours. No.
But yeah, wonderful, wonderful toy. And with a name like Max Ray,
Yep.
like, he's got to be a good guy. He's the best. TLO, over to you.
I'm going to go straight in with a big one. Optimus.
Oh,
Prime.
yes.
Oh, G1.
Can't-
Yeah, there
can't
it
beat
is.
him. Look, nothing needs to be said about this guy. Everybody knows him. He is the greatest hero of all time.
There's some nice shiny
Move on.
chrome on your
The short stack
Optimus
one
there.
from the look of it.
This one is the 2000s reissue.
Yep.
My vintage one that I got for my 40th birthday from my friend Jason. That's in acrylic, so that doesn't
Yeah.
come out.
Yeah.
Sure.
But you've got a boxed one, don't you? 100%.
Yep.
Original
Ooh.
boxed one in acrylic
Yep.
from old mate Glenn.
The man.
So that's
I bought the acrylic from Glenn and also the Jetfire acrylic at the same time. That was
Fantastic.
a big packet.
full on. Wow.
Nice.
For an empty box, yeah.
Yeah.
Good call. Good call.
Righto, let's stay on the G1 Transformers train here. As a kid, the only original proper legit Transformer I ever owned was Cliff Jumper.
Nice.
Essentially a red version of Bumblebee.
Yes.
And I was obsessed with it. And honestly, I owned him for a week. That's the only time I had him because I loved him so much. I took him to school.
Oh, no.
I showed him off. I transformed him and I stupidly, foolishly played with him in the classroom.
Uh-oh.
And the teacher sees it.
Yep.
Gone.
Instantly confiscated. Never to be seen again.
Oh, that's theft. That's what that is.
Absolutely. But as a 6, 7-year-old kid, you're like, oh, no, what am I going to do? I can't tell my parents. They'll get angry at me. So, yeah, Cliff Jumper is a memory for me. And
Snapshot.
Fleeting.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Full on. Also available in yellow variant. Yeah. He was released
Yeah,
in
it was,
yellow.
yeah.
Yep.
And there's a red version of Bumblebee.
Yes,
there is,
that's
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That is not Cliff Jumper. It's
No.
literally
Yeah.
because the head sculpt's different. Is that right?
No,
Matt?
no.
The
And then
bonnet's
there's
slightly different.
Oh, there's
Yeah.
the shape's different. Yes.
No. There's you got yellow Cliff Jumper and red Bumblebee, exactly the same mold, and then there's a Bumble Jumper, which
That's
is
right.
the
Yeah.
the different mold,
Master,
which is
Master 323 or something like
yeah,
that.
which is incredibly rare. I don't have that one yet. I've got all the mini bots, but I don't have that one because I just can't justify the price. Yeah.
Very good, Master Trent.
All right, I go now to the LJN line of Thundercats, which was, I believe, I'm just guessing now, about 1986-ish. And I couldn't go past Lino himself.
Nice.
The
Good solid.
light-up eye feature, the beautiful colours that pop, the red hair, the orange skin or fur, and the blue kind of armour that he's wearing. I think he's a great, big, nice-sized, chunky figure. Got the Battle-matic action feature, and he's just a cool cat.
100%. Oh, well done. Nice. All right. Very good. Okay. Down two. All right. He's actually already been called in passing.
Ooh.
1985 Hasbro Transformers G1 Jetfire.
Oh, yep.
Jetfire crossing that beautiful line between what's it called? Macross.
Macross, The Valkyrie.
What's the line?
Robotech.
Robotech.
Sorry, Macross.
Macross, yeah, Robotech. Fortunately, never was able to be able in the cartoon because of his Macross background and things. So they had to change him to Skyfire. But he is just I've seen images of him versus Megatron. That's how elite in the toy line he was, but they had to cancel that and make Optimus Prime from Diaclone the leader because of the rights and stuff. So he was almost, could have been the leader of the Autobots, but Jetfire, the way he stands, the posability, the 3 transformations he's got, he is just phenomenal. All that armor, he is just hands down one of the coolest Transformers I think around. So he gets my vote.
Choice.
Cool.
Yep.
Very good. All right, I'm going to go to Mask now. I think that's 1985, 86. So Series 1, I'm talking about, and I'm not talking about the toys because I know we've sort of classed vehicles as a different, for different ones. So I'm talking about one of the little 2-inch figures, and I'm talking about Alex Sector. So if you don't know him, he came with Boulder Hill. He is essentially, if Davey was made into a little plastic figure, that's sort of what he looks like. Big rusty beard. Unlike a lot of the Mask pilots where they're wearing these jumpsuits. You take the little mask off him and he actually looks just like a normal dude.
Yep.
He doesn't have this like NASCAR looking, sort of suit to him. The character himself, I think his code name is Megabytes. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he's an exotic pet and plant owner.
He is, yes.
And in his spare time, he runs rhino and gets to fly, fight off venom and stuff. I just think he's one of the. Again, you take the mask off him, and he could be a little. I don't know, a little Star Wars figure, a bit small for a Star Wars figure, but you know what I mean? He looks like a normal guy, not just you go, what's missing from him?
Yeah, I never had, and I know we've got a guest here who is the proud owner of a Boulder Hill, with the box and everything. I never had that set, so I had my Alex Sector in the Buddy Hawk 2-pack.
Yes,
they came as action figures, so I had him in my collection. And I always remember, I watched a fair bit of Mask, the cartoon series, and they'd get the call, like Matt Track would sit down and go, tell me, computer, who is the best agents for this mission? And they go, I think it's Alex and I think it's Buddy or whatever. And then they would just they'd get the phone call on their watch, and that whatever they were doing, I mean, you could be playing in a rock concert, ready to shred the solo. You get that call, you're running off stage.
Drop the axe.
But that was the same with Alex Sector. He'd be like, handing someone an exotic python. Here, have a little look. Oh wait, there's the call. Here. I'll see you later. And just leave them. Leave them hanging.
He's the man.
What I've noticed though is that I'm looking more and more like Alex Sector now as I get older. Now I've got a beard and no hair.
That's fair. Yep. You bit of red paint in the beard,
That's
mate. You're there.
That's your thing for next council run.
Yep.
You can dress up the car as a hurricane and goes the mask.
Away we go.
Beautiful.
Well, my second one. First of all, I have to say, Frank, you're making some good choices, but you are wrong.
Oh,
Jake is the best.
There he
Jake
is.
is the best. Yep. He's the one I had as a kid. So my brother had Ace McLeod and I had Jake. We never had any love for Max in our family. Only ever had Fire Force. But now I have everything except for Swing Shot because I just don't have that money to spend on that one toy. But you were just saying about their weapon assault systems. Fire Force, Detonator, Wild Weasel, Hornet. Great names.
Yeah,
he has the most sets out of them.
He does.
He's a typical no nonsense. Just get the job done, and he's the best one.
Yep.
Very cool.
I love the default. I'm not sure of the name of it, but the default set he comes with, where he's got the massive rocket launcher on his back. That's one of those missiles that that one. Fire Force, alongside the the missile from
the howitzer.
The howitzer from Outlaw.
Yeah.
It's one of those ones. It goes because safety standards were not really a thing in the 80s.
There's punches.
There's a reason why I don't keep it connected.
Yeah,
it's
because it goes. Yeah. The spring goes after a while.
Yeah,
and it lives in a glass cabinet. So
Very cool, Scotty.
All right, let's rip the Band-Aid off on Masters of the Universe.
Oh, he's
Our
brought
first
him
figures
along.
tonight. Yes, I have in front of me Wave 1 Man-at-Arms.
Yes.
And if you remember to the villains version we did a while back, I had a theme of green and gold.
Yes.
Merman.
There's got to be something in my childhood that just draws me to green and gold. And
Australia.
this fella in his skin tight green leotard and sort of the gold bonish armor on him, he looks amazing. I love him. He's so striking as a figure.
Yep.
Man-at-Arms it is.
Nice.
He's my second choice.
If you attack him from the left, he's safe. You attack him from the right, he could be in trouble.
He's vulnerable. All right. I'm sensing I may get a double up here, but we'll see how we go. I'm heading now to 1984 to the Kenner Superpowers line, and I couldn't go past the Batman from that line.
Fantastic call.
He is fantastic. A close second, probably. Green Lantern is up there in terms of the sculpt. He's very good. But Batman, how can you go past that beautiful sculpt? I think it's one of the best, to me, one of the best sculpts ever made.
It's iconic.
It's just such a good looking, such a good representation of the comic book. And I love that. And I think if Darren were here with this segment, that would be in the list for sure.
Yep. Certainly was on my list, I admit. I had to bump it to my backups, but it wasn't. It was a choice between calling out Voltron first, which I was worried that someone else would have on their list, or call Batman out straight away. That Batman was my introduction to Batman as a toy. That's why I'm an unapologetic Batman fan till this day. It could have been Spider-Man from the superheroes, Secret Wars, but it was Batman. So that's why I'm a DC fan for life. Yeah. So very cool. Great call out. Love that. All right. For me, next up is from 1987. Hasbro Battle Beasts. Got to get my Battle Beast in there. Good old flying the Aussie flag, kickback kangaroo.
All right. I thought you go the koala.
Yeah, no, I like the. I don't know. I just like the kangaroo better. He is absolutely fantastic. He is a grey kangaroo, right? So very appropriate color scheme. Comes with sort of like a greeny aqua colored armor. Absolutely cool. He's got this like helmet bit that covers over his eyes. And he comes with a punching glove, boxing glove on one arm. So, very appropriate for the boxing kangaroo. And his weapon, right, drum roll please, is a boomerang.
Oh, yes,
it is. How Australian patriotic can you get? Like, I just think this guy is phenomenal. He's a little bit longer in the, foot stamp, when you put him on the thing, than the others because of his tail and things. I just, have a lot of time for this character, and he is in the Japanese scheme. He is an Autobot, so that's why he gets my call out for a heroic warrior tonight.
I mean, given he's Australian, personified, he should be green and gold, like your Man at Arms, like your Jack Rockwell. There's a real theme going here.
Yeah, they got it so close, but didn't quite nail it. Yep.
All right, I'm switching over to Transformers 1986, of course. Famously, after Optimus Prime bit the dust, this is the guy who should have been the leader of the Autobots, but for whatever reason, he can't deal with that right now. Ultra Magnus G1. I've spoken about my love of this toy many, many times, but it's pretty funny to look at the toy itself. They go, okay, imagine being in that boardroom. Optimus Prime is dead, so what do? Let's take the Optimus Prime thing, paint it white, and just stick a whole bunch of armor on him, make him 3 times the size that Optimus is. But he's got those classic good guy colors, the blues, the reds, and the whites, America. Little known fact, I don't know some people know this, but the gun that he holds can be held one way in the large Autobot mode, and then there's another handle sort of on the other side, so it can be held in when he's in sort of regular Optimus sort of size. The trailer, really, if you use the top end, I tended to, in my childhood, use the top rail as well, so he could carry twice as many cars as Optimus could. Those insane rocket launchers, which you can always tell the reissue ones because they have those crazy long ones, so kids can't swallow them, which I think look awful. But yeah, Ultra Magnus is probably my all-time. He was my Autobot leader as a kid and still is.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Matty.
I'm following you again, Frank, and it's my turn for Mask.
Ah, there he is.
He's in the car because I didn't want to take him out, but Matt Tracker, obviously leader of Mask. What more can you say? The character is so good; he gets 7 different repaints.
Nice.
It says it all. It says it all, and I think I need 2 of them still for my collection. So
wow,
you got
I
the short mask?
only have 5 of him. No, that's the long mask.
The long mask, yeah.
But the Ramen toy version, he's got quite a short mask, so it fills the gap.
I always found it
I
odd.
was saying, I was saying to you the other day on our chat, I'm not that fussed about the short masks. I mean, if I get them, great. It's not something I actively hunt for. It's just an additional expense for no reason for me.
Yeah. I always found it interesting, all these wonderful powers that the masks themselves give them. You can fly, or you can create illusions or whatever it is. And Matt Tracker is just straight up Cyclops. It's just a blaster. I need a tunnel through there. I'm just going to shoot my way through. Like, what else? The
funny thing about his mask, like almost every episode, his mask does something different. And they call it Spectrum. They should really call it the MacGuffin because it's just
What do we need it to do this week to solve the problem?
MacGuffin, go.
Exactly.
All right, Scotty.
All right, it's going to be of no secret to anyone that Defenders of the Earth and/or Flash Gordon, or a combination of both, is my next choice. Of course, from Galoob Toys in sort of 86. It is Flash Gordon himself in all his glory. He's about 5 inches tall. He's got sort of 7 or 8 points of articulation there. He's got the swinging arm action there with his sword and the pistol, which I don't have. He's a great looking figure. He is my 3rd choice.
Oh, it's
Fantastic.
It's
Good
a great.
call.
It's a great line. I think in my opinion, the Phantom that's been done in that line is the best Phantom figure ever made. I don't think they've topped the Galoob version. Yep. I know when Billy Zane did the movie, that looked like a coconut head. That Phantom, he just had like the biggest kind of baby head. It was the most awful sculpt. And yeah, they hold up, those sculpts of those.
They're charming, aren't they?
Just the design of the carriage, even because he dates back to what, like the 50s?
I reckon he's earlier.
40s?
He's pulp, isn't he?
He
pulp?
is 30s.
He's
Buck Rogers, sort of
exactly.
that
Phantom, that 30s,
Yeah.
All right. I, again, had a tough time choosing between two of my favourite characters from this line, but I did have to go... this, I think, is 1987 Mattel. It is Brave Star, and I have picked title character Brave Star, but Handlebar got a very close shout-out because the big bartending green alien with a handlebar mo, that's about as good as it gets. But Brave Star is a fantastic figure. He's the bigger sort of 8-inch scale. Mattel deviated away from their Masters of the Universe scale, 5.5 inches, which was very popular at the time for them, and went for the bigger 8-inch figures. He's great. Removable hat. He's got the harness. He's got the different guns. Lot of different ways you can play with him. Bendable articulation in the knees, and he's got the quick draw action as well.
I think he's of everyone in that line, because even Handlebar and some of the other ones could be mistaken for bad guys. You know, Handlebar's green alien. He's the only one in that line. You just go, well, that's the good guy.
Good guy.
Clearly, if you know nothing else about it. He's a good-looking cowboy. He's the good guy.
Yeah.
Little, Marshall, the badge on and everything. Love it.
Very good. All right. 1986, Master of the Universe, Mattel, Snout Spout.
Oh!
Snout Spout. Yeah.
I had him on my list.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Full on.
I had him on my list.
So
That's unbelievable.
This
Snouty.
this character, whilst I never had the proper vintage physical toy as a childhood, when I played Battle for Eternia,
yes.
just like the Monopoly games and things, I'd always make sure, I'm Snout Spout. I'm Snout Spout running to save He-Man and, channeling my way through the board and, things. Snout Spout was, and because that Snout Spout card was an exact photographic replica of the toy, it felt like I had the toy.
Well, it's like the card back, isn't it?
Yeah. It's so I have an enormous nostalgic relationship with Snout Spout because of that reason, even though I never actually physically had the toy as a childhood. And then all through my collecting life, I've always appreciated the different versions of Snout Spout, and I still, hands down, I think the Staction from the NECA version is still the best. Coming in a very close second is that new Eternia one, which looks fantastic, which one day I might try and pick up. But yeah, very cool.
Snout Spout's the one I had as a kid.
Oh, wow.
So
There you go.
I thought about it, but my next one is Masters as well.
Yes.
I think it's slightly earlier. I want to say 1985, but don't quote me on that. I'm talking about the man with the massive fist, Fisto.
Yeah, good call.
Darren would have been happy.
Yeah, exactly. Part of this was a bit of a tribute to Darren, but this is one I had as a kid. He still holds up. He's one of he stands up. More importantly, those ones you had, survived the sandpit and whatever. And I always loved that. It's meant to be that sort of fist on the side typically, but I would always turn it so his knuckles are facing down, and then lift the arm up so he's slamming the table, listen to me, I am Fisto. It's just something that always I found quite funny. He's got a weird sort of color scheme where it's just sort of the silver with purple highlights. It's typically a bit of a villain type color scheme, but you look at that, the full beard, the massive eyebrows.
He looks heroic, doesn't he?
Yeah. He's missing. You put an axe in his hand, you go, oh, he's a Viking.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I love him.
Good call.
Matty, over to you.
All right. For my fourth one, we've got one of the best Tashes in our
Yes.
And sorry, Ben, but the best holographic toys.
Yeah, fair enough.
We've got Leoric from the Visionaries. I mean, this was the one I had as a kid.
Nice.
It's the
Oh,
only
nice.
only one I had. I remember, I think my mum took me somewhere, and I remember getting them. I think I was off sick from school or something. But, removable hat, whip, fantastic holograms, staff, controversial, but better than G.I. Joe's.
What creature holographic characters?
Lion.
Yeah, of
Nice.
course.
Very
Makes sense.
Classic.
And
Nice,
then his staff is the owl because he's the most wisdomous because he's the leader.
cool.
It's
Do
a
you
very,
need to go back and listen to the episode that I was on?
He wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was a while ago.
And the blue as well, that teal coloured blue, very, very nice colour choice for the figure. So they are cool. Yeah, very good. I've got a few.
How's your collection going with them now?
It hasn't grown very much, but I've started it. It's about 2 or 3. So
Well, Matt, you made mention of G.I. Joe just a moment ago, and no, this isn't a G.I. Joe figure, Frank. Don't worry, don't worry. Stolen directly from G.I. Joe in the early 80s, though, was the Palatoy's Action Man figure.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
He's a 1/6 scale, sort of 12-inch tall figure, inspired by those original Joes and the $6 Million Man from the same sort of time. He's a traditional army man, and he came with all your cloth clothing.
Yeah.
He came with rubber gum boots. He came with proper sort of weapon as well, and he came with a beret. But then you can buy all the different costumes: scuba gear, ranger, snow guy, all the different costume changes. He's like a boy's version of a Barbie doll.
Yeah.
essentially. That's what he was. So I had him as a kid, and I loved him. I played with him until I broke him. And how did I break him? Well, I had a kite, and I decided he had to go hang gliding one day.
he is Action Man.
And sort of tied him to the kite, gave him a throw, and his arm snapped completely off. Yeah, bugger. But I loved him as a kid. It was a terrific toy.
Oh, it would have been a much cooler story if the kite, you lost control and the kite just took off and you was never seen again. Just gliding all over Adelaide.
Yeah.
So which
great.
what was available in Australia? Was it Action Man or was it G.I. Joe?
It was actually called Action Man.
Right. Because in England it was Action Man, and obviously G.I. Joe was a later thing.
Yep.
I never heard of G.I. Joe. It was all it was Action Man.
A lot of yours,
what you had over there. What you had over here.
You had the G.I. Joes rebadged as Action Force, didn't you?
Later on in the line, there was a
Right.
lot of the original English ones that if you look at them, they've got one arm that's sort of locked in a 45-degree angle and then a sort of a straight one, so there's not so much articulation.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
But then there's those UK-specific vehicles such as that TIE Fighter Skull, Red Skull
Yes,
thing.
that's
I don't
full
know
on.
the name.
Robo Skull.
Yeah.
Robo Skull, yes.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. Well, actually, oddly enough, Ben, I did have Snout Spout on my list.
Oh, was that one of your 5?
It was one of my 5. Yeah.
right.
You had Batman on your list.
Yes.
I had that too.
No, but
First Clash.
it's a really odd choice. I mean,
So you're saying the first clash in the 2 times we've
yeah.
done this was Snout Spout?
it's Snout Spout, which I find absolutely amazing.
great.
Because most people would derive
Yeah.
him. Like, it's just, but I had him. There's something about when I was going through all the heroes,
Yeah.
I couldn't pull myself away from him. But anyway, as a backup, I'm going to go 1989 to the Ninja Turtles line. A boy I've called out many a times.
Oh,
It is
no.
Casey Jones.
No. Come on.
I love him. Donatello was my favorite turtle, but Casey was my go-to guy. Took him in with me to the 1990 movie. We were inseparable. His arm snapped off, and my dad, pretty
You didn't
handy.
tie him to a kite, did you?
Didn't tie him to a kite. They had the swivel on the wrist snapped off. Like clean snap, right? So
Yeah.
the pin was
pin
just
was
sheared.
stuck, yeah.
Yep. And my dad drilled a little hole at each end and put a little metal rod and glued one end, and it seemed to magically repair. Like it was a seamless fix. You could never tell. I've still got that figure, and
Nice.
I love the design. So I'm happy if you had him on your list
I
too.
did. He
But
was-
now Snout Spout is not the only one that's been doubled up on.
I even as I put that on there, I was like, Trent's going to get that one, but I'll put it on there anyway. Benno, your
Yep.
turn.
All right, we're up to number 5, and I guarantee this one's on no one's list, but I'm going to call him out there because it means the world to me. 1982, Remco, Lost World of the Warlord, and of course the
Ooh.
titular character, Warlord himself.
Yeah,
right?
that's a good call.
And for those playing at home who don't know who Warlord is, he's essentially a Master Universe buck, right? You know, back when the Remco were making, knockoff characters to fall in line with the Masters to cash in on that franchise. But he actually has, property values from DC. There was a DC comic book called, Lost World of the Warlord. So he's very famous from that. He's more barbaric. But the toy itself, so the 5.5 looking figure, comes with a wicked little sword, comes with sort of a cape, white and black sort of cow splotches, as well as his underpants. Nothing on his chest. He's a bare, muscular chest. But then he's got this helmet that's got like wings on it, like that go all the way from the top of the helmet down to his shoulders. And he's got a dirty little mo and a goatee. White, all white, flowing in line with his cape and things. And he was the title character.
Yep. And
he's just, the boss of everything, fought the other characters and stuff. Actually, he's in one of the new DC movies. The Batman goes and saves him. Crossover in one of the new DC movies. So check
like
that
an
out.
animated.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that was nice to see. He's a lot more barbaric and got more armor and things on. But got to call out my knockoffs and things. Even though this was its own property and stuff, but I have a lot of respect for what came in those. Just cashing in on the Masters brand and little old Remco. The train that could.
Well, it's funny. I mean, I remember any knockoff I would get, I'd almost just be like, this is crap because I want Masters.
Yeah.
But now, looking back, now that you've sort of been through it, you're an adult, you've collected your Masters line, or you've got all the figures you want, the knockoffs, you look at them in a different light, I think, and you appreciate them. And the Remco ones, I think, are at the higher end of the quality scale. Like all the cloth goods and all the components of that figure, they look really nice. The paint apps are good. The face is nice sculpt. Like the body is sculpted well. It's not an offensive figure. Like now in adult eyes, there's a lot of love for this. And I reckon a lot of Masters collectors kind of round out Masters and go, well, what next? And it's these bootleg lines that are the things they sort of are interested in. So that's because it's a nice figure. So it's really
very nice.
Good call out. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, my number 5 was going to be Casey Jones, but the thing is we've had our second double up for the night. I actually had Marshall Bravestar as one of my backups, so that one's gone too. So I'm going to pivot to, pretty sure this is 86 as well, Silverhawks. Scotty's looking a bit scared across the table from me. Bluegrass.
You're safe.
Bluegrass, for those who don't remember, he is the pilot of the Mirage. He was bright sort of blue chrome.
Yep.
Look at it this way. He's a pilot. He's got a mohawk. He plays guitar. And he's got a cowboy
He does indeed.
hat and
Cowboy
sort of
hat.
neckerchief. I'm just like, they've just taken all the coolest down. What the kids like? They like cowboys. They like pilots. They like rock and roll. Let's put it into one figure.
Make him metallic blue.
Exactly, metallic blue. He's while some of the actual little hawks they come with are sort of a bit odd. It's pretty clear this is a guitar first and a hawk second.
Yeah.
In terms of the transformation sequence in inverted commas. He even comes with a non-traditional sort of like arm pose, so he can be seen playing the guitar instead of just sort of standard articulation for the time. The coolest of a very cool line.
Very good. And just incidentally, the Super 7 have released their next wave of
They have.
Silverhawks Ultimates, which include a VAC Metal Bluegrass.
Bluegrass, yep. And Steel Hawk or Will? I always forget those. Which one's the male?
The rugby player guy.
Yep, the big guy. But there's
Still will.
moleculars in there in that wave as well.
Yeah,
Molecular and Windhammer as well.
Yes.
Yep.
Toy-coloured versions. And Molecular has a new head, which was, when you used to be able to pivot his
spin it
chest
around.
into his head, and it's just got the atomic symbol on there. He's got a head that's just a ball with the atomic symbol.
Rightfully so.
All right, Maddie, last one.
Well, the fact you didn't call it out, Frank, just proves me correct. The best turtle is Michelangelo. Again, this was the one I had as a kid. I think I said it when I was first on. M for Michelangelo, M for Matthew. It was the one I got as a kid. He's the best turtle, hands down.
And you've been rounding out your vintage turtles collection in recent times?
Yeah, my collection is complete. I basically just wanted to go for the original 10 figures. So I've got a modern version on card and loose vintage in front of them for each of the original 10. And then I have one carded of the reissue of the Super Shredder that Ben sent me a couple of years ago.
Nice.
So that's as far as I'm going to go with Turtles.
Yeah.
I don't have the space or the inclination to go further.
You're a very wise man.
Yeah, it's a nice representation though. That first 10.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, I'm probably going to be the only person to call out Ken of Star Wars this evening.
Oh, are you? Or are you?
Oh, Trent's still to go.
I have from my probably 5th Christmas. I unwrapped under the tree. Red 5 himself, X-Wing Luke Skywalker. And this is him. This is the guy I got that Christmas.
With the
so long
gun.
ago. With the gun. I think it's the only accessory that I managed to keep. All the others disappeared into vacuums and crevices and orifices and all that sort of stuff. And this guy's just, I don't know. It doesn't even look like Luke Skywalker. It could be any rebel pilot in the entire fleet, but he's awesome. And simply because I've had him for 40 years, he is my 5th choice for the evening.
Beautiful.
Well done, man.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
I actually did go a vintage Star Wars Kenner
Wow.
figure, the one that I had as a child, and I was looking at my collection, trying to choose. He was very, very high up in my Good Guys selection, probably the second choice, to be honest. But I did go with the Lando Calrissian from Jabba's Palace.
Oh, Skiffguard.
Skiffguard.
Wow.
His that design, I think, is a beautiful design figure. The helmet he comes with.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's again toned down a bit for the small scale, but it's removable and it's got that real Skiffguard look of the bones and all that detail. He's wearing cool armor. He's got the Skiff pike. And it's one of the coolest sequences in my view of that film is that whole infiltration of Jabba's palace. And then, the Sarlacc pit. And I thought you couldn't see. I thought you were blind. Higher, a little higher. It's a wonderful sequence there as he gets saved from getting eaten by the Sarlacc.
Great choice, because I love, that sequence, because you're like, where did he get that armor from? Where did Leia get that armor from? Like all these questions and things. It's never really answered. I'm sure it's answered in a comic book and things, but on the movie screen, it doesn't get answered, and you're just like, oh, this is so cool. And it's sort of that trick, it tricks you, like, oh, who are these people? Oh, that's Lando. Oh, that's Leia. It's so cool. I have a lot of respect for that. Just little pen out. Yeah. Great choice.
Beautiful.
I'm amazed that not one of you picked He-Man. Like I would have put money on that.
It was too obvious, and
it's a tough call. He-Man was very, very high up on my list. I know Darren would have gone He-Man. He was unashamedly
100%.
He-Man's the man, and that's it.
Yep.
But I almost think sometimes they're boring, but they're sort of
too easy.
Too easy, and it's sort of what's the one that's a little bit out of the box.
Just like Frank didn't call out Leonardo, straight off the bat.
That was my natural inclination, but I was like, I wanted to branch out a bit.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Very good.
I reckon I probably had the best 6th choice, the worst figure, but Galoob. he was my ring in.
Just say that again, because Trent was too excited.
What figure is it?
The 3.75-inch Galoob A-Team figure.
They're awesome.
That was
Mr.
my
T.
that was my
Nice.
backup.
The backup.
Because
Fantastic.
he's the only one that looks anything like the character.
Yeah.
And was there a bigger hero than Mr. T from like 82 to 85?
No,
full
not
on.
at all.
Yeah.
He was great. Chris Fresh. Ah, man, he's inspired something in me from the WWE world.
No.
And I managed to pick up a Mr. T retro figure.
Oh, yeah.
Modern Mattel releases, they do them on Mattel Creations website, these 4-packs. And I got a Mr. T. And like on the, they take a photo of the character and put it on the card.
Yep.
And it's like him with the most ridiculous amount of gold chains.
Yeah.
It's just iconic,
Yeah,
right? Like
that's
that
the
Mr.
look.
T. Pity the fool.
Yep.
That
That's it.
haircut, everything about it. Now, I know we're out of
Those
time.
Hasbro figures are fantastic though. They're
They are beautiful.
Yeah, done a good job.
Fantastic. I know we're out of time, but and we missed out on later scores. But Mr. Frank, this is from Morgatron 84.
wow.
Little gift that I was able to pick up on my travels. So Morgatron lives in Crystal Brook, which is about 2 hours, an hour and a half from Adelaide. And due to my new work schedule, I drive past or through
nice.
Crystal Brook.
Oh, nice.
So I was able to help him out with the toy, and he left something in, for Frank. So
Nice. This is G1 Laserbeak.
Oh,
I think it's
very
Laserbeak.
Good.
Looks like
it is.
Laserbeak,
It is
yeah.
Laserbeak.
Yeah, it's got the red 2 guns complete. Oh my god, look at that. That is very, very nice. I got
It looks absolute mint.
It does, doesn't it? I've got the buzzsaw up there, which is sort of one gun shot. But look at that, stickers and everything. Got the rub symbol on there. Those guns look practically brand new. I'm sort of nervous to transform it now because it feels so
I
new.
think you're best to take the guns off so you
off,
don't, because the mechanism goes up into the gun cavity.
Yeah.
Anyway, so make sure
amazing.
you
Thank you
reach
so
out
much,
and
dude.
say thank you. So
Oh, awesome!
yeah.
Wow,
It's
look
very
at that.
cool. It's very, very cool.
All right,
Beautiful.
coming up next. So 8 years of Toy Power podcast. So we're still doing the sharing pictures. Thank you everyone that submitted. We're getting some cracker. They're still trickling through, but please, we're still a while away from our goal of 80. We've I've passed the 50 mark on my list. So let's just keep it going. I know there's a few people out there that have promised me pictures. Please just send them through and lock it in. Small collection, big collection, whole room, your latest scores, a shelf even. Let's just keep this going. I don't mind. I love everything that's come through, and just keep it going. Thank you. And thank you to everyone for your loyal listening. And 8 years of Toy Power podcast is a milestone we want to share with everybody. So thank you.
Absolutely.
A lot of fun looking at those collections. I get a kick out of that every day, and sometimes zooming in and scrolling around, seeing what goodies are in there, which is very, very cool. Wonderful. Well, Matt, thank you very much for joining us for another episode of Toy Power.
Thank you.
Good to catch up and good to see you. And good luck with rounding out some of those last obscure items. I know you're getting to the very pointy end of some of your collections with, Visionaries and Mask, and a lot of
Visionaries is complete.
Visionaries is
there you
all
go.
done, done now, and
Yep.
Mask. Your I mean that's hard.
Almost there.
Are you interested in what's that one at the very end, which is the exploding?
Laser command.
Laser
no,
command.
I'm gonna stop after 3. So
Yeah, after
all
3.
I need is a box volcano. That's my last vehicle. Then I need a carded Scott and T-Bob and a box collector, and then that's me done. I'm not doing season 4 because they're crap.
Yeah. Well, that is they are the very average. And if you do like your Mask, I don't know if you've checked out the Toy Geeks.
Toy Geeks, yeah.
They go
certainly
through and
have.
do they're fantastic, and I think they're very much of the same opinion of what happened at Wave 4.
Correct.
Very good. Alrighty. Thank you everyone for tuning in to another episode of Toy Power, and to all our patrons. Thank you so much for your chatter on the Discord. Stay safe, take care of one another, and we will see you around the toy aisles.
And until next time, good journey!
You can find the Toy Power team at all the usual online places. Facebook.com/Toy Power Podcast, at Toy Power Podcast on both Twitter and Instagram, or have your say and email us toypowerpodcast@gmail.com. Subscribe to the show on both iTunes and Stitcher, and please leave us a review. Otherwise, we just assume we're awesome.